All right. Again, let me say that again. Welcome to our webinar on Hindu contributions to the world, featuring Dr. D.K. Hari and Dr. D.K. Hema Hari. We know it. Hindu contributions have helped shape the material progress of humanity and in the realm of mind, which has influenced human thought, sciences, and spirituality through time. And sometimes we don't learn about our own contributions. They get buried. Right, in contemporary times, following the European colonization of India, it's become received knowledge that Hindus were and continue to be backwards. You know, there's so many different ways that they say it, right? But the real history, what Dr. Hari and Dr. Hari have been working on and bringing us in so many different ways, is what we're going to get into, right? There are so much evidence for sciences, technologies, inventions, industry, prosperity that made India, a civilization at the center of humanity for thousands of years. And I'm glad to have none other than Dr. D.K. Hari and Dr. D.K. Hema Hari today, giving us this presentation. And they've taught courses with HUA. They've grown and evolved. They've added new courses, expanded. I'm glad to have them on to start us on this new year. And we're going to see what they're going to be offering this quarter as Hindu University of America, with your help, takes it to the next level. We have about 90 people joining us. We'll probably cross the 100 mark. North Carolina, Germany, New York City, Torrance, people from all around the world are joining us. So Dr. D.K. Hari hails from an Indian traditional family with roots in Kanchipuram, known for its age-old temples, saints, and scholars. He had his schooling in the prestigious Rishi Valley School. Then he graduated from Madras Christian College and did his post-graduation in business administration from PSG College of Technology in Coimbatore. I don't know, I don't say that right, but maybe you can correct that. He had a 20-year career as a management professional, managing the family businesses in various verticals: oil and gas, FMCG, supply chain, marketing, built industry and product company. During which this 20-year career, he established a brand and sales network in India and abroad, right? And that's one of these things that this power couple has done. They've done the work in India and abroad. They've traveled the world. And Dr. D.K. Hema Hari, also a strong representative for us and knowledgeable. She was born in Mysore and grew up in Mumbai. Maybe there's a history lesson there that we could get into. She double graduated in physics and in computer technology from Bombay University. Her 20-year career span in information technology focused mainly on managing innovation and nurturing new technologies by providing consulting, mentoring, and business development support. And she's traveled widely to many countries and also within India on professional as well on personal ground. I love the story about visiting CERN in Switzerland and how that connects to this. It's given both D.K. Hema Hari and Dr. Hari, both of this power couple, the opportunity to learn about various cultures, widen horizons. And let me end by introducing them together. They both earned their doctorate degrees at Sri Sri University, and together they started the Bharat Jnana Initiative in Civilizational Studies back in the year 2000. Bharat Jnana follows an interdisciplinary approach to researching from a Hindu perspective and provides an integrated narrative of the Indian civilization. They have brought out and published hundreds of books, videos. They're prolific, and it is my pleasure to hand it over to them just as we're crossing 100 people joining us for this webinar on Hindu contributions to the world. Thank you, and I'll be here supporting. It's a pleasure to have you.
Thank you once again, Ankur, for inviting us to be part of yet another program of Hindu University America. And we're going to start this year, 2022, on a very bright note. Incidentally, today in South India, it's widely celebrated as Hanuman Jayanti, the birthday of our dear friend, Lord Hanuman. And as he is known to be Kesari Nandan, look at we have sort of own dress, which is Kesari in color today, so that it's a theme of the day, the color of the day, Kesari Nandan. So And incidentally, today's subject being Hindu contribution to the world in the realm of
Matter.
in the realm of matter. And one of the subjects we deal with is the spices of this land. And in the spices, kesari is the king among spices. That is what in English we refer to as saffron, because that comes from the Persian word zafran. So it took on the English term saffron, but the Indian word for it has been kesari. And this word kesari, as today's topic is the game changer, this word kesari itself has been a game changer in the world in the field of royalty. Have you ever thought of it? A simple flower that grows in Kashmir by the Shivalik range of the Himalayas. It grows there. It's a verdant, beautiful crop. But that crop, that flower, the stamen of that flower has given the name for royalty all over the world. Let's see that. And that's a game changer in the world. Let's see that for the next 3 minutes. We have a short film to start our presentation with today. We'll just go to our Bharat Gyan website. And from there, we will go on to the film. 1 second. You just hold with us for some till we go to that film, Kesari. This is in our website for all to view later and also to share with your friends. This is just a short film on how Kesari has been a game changer the world over.
Saffron flowers, which are called kesari in Indian languages. If you look at these saffron flowers, fundamentally they are purple in color. So where does the yellow come from? It comes from the stamens, the filaments there. So those are then picked out, dried, and then used, not just for giving yellow colors for fabrics and other kinds of dyeing, but they have been used fundamentally as exquisite spices for flavoring and coloring food as well.
One of the famous sweets of India is kesari. Everybody likes the sweet kesari. It's consumed all over the land. For every festive season, you have kesari as
It's
a sweet.
also known as kshira in the north. In the south, it is called kesari.
And where you had this filaments, nice filaments of kesari in that, and it's a nice garnishing also. Apart from this, look at the name kesari. The name kesari has got multiple meanings. So this particular flower is a king among flowers. This particular spice is king among spices. So kesari also means king. Beautiful, isn't it? So Kesari Nandan. Hanuman is called Kesari Nandan because his father is a king of that particular land. He was Kesari. So Kesari Nandan. So that's why we see Hanuman always covered in the orange color, Kesari. Apart from that, when Lokmanya Balagangadhar Tilak started his paper to get across to people, he called it Kesari because he wanted to show bravery, strength. So he called it Kesari. And look at the lion, the king of the forest. The lion king. What do you call it? Kesari. So lion is called Kesari. Look at that. From India, this word Kesari has traveled to different parts of the world. And you find this wonderful connection between the Kesari in India for king and in German language, a king is called Kaiser. So an anointed king is Kaiser. And from there it goes to Dutch and thereon to Scandinavian countries where it is called
Koenig. So in the Scandinavian tongue, king is called Koenig, and from that you get the English word king.
So we see how the word Kesari moves from here to Kaiser to Koenig and then to king and comes back to India.
Kesari from India, it becomes Kaisara in Afghanistan. That is why Raja Kanishka was called Kaisara. From there, the word when it goes to Mongolia, Kaisara becomes Khan. That's why Kublai Khan, Genghis Khan, all that. Khan. The word Khan comes from Kaisara, which comes from Kesari. The word Khan comes back to Arabia. Look at how the word flows. And the word from there goes to Kaiser in Germany. Kesari becomes Kaiser in Germany. From there it goes to Russia as Tsar, Tsar of Russia, Tsarina. And goes further, in Rome it becomes Caesar.
Julius Caesar, Antonio Caesar. And in England, he became king. Look at the word. One word, Kesari, related to color. We see how India gives colors. Look at the names itself from a color India has given to all the kings of the world. So see, it's a connect from flower to a color to a usage for a king. So these colors have their fragrances, they have their spread all over the land in different forms, in names as well as in usages, in fabric as well as in recipes, both for Ayurveda treatment and otherwise too.
Yeah, very interesting video while you get off of mute, kind of one of those micro lessons that I know you get into in your course, but you're still on mute. Ask you to unmute.
Yeah, just a minute.
Yeah, so back again. Thank you. So see that how one color, one flower has given, it's a game changer to the world. Across millennia, across civilizations, across countries, across languages, across centuries.
So it's a matter, it's a material contribution that has actually changed the mindset. It has influenced languages, it has influenced thought. So how beautifully it has intertwined, going from the idea of king for the king of spices to the word for king itself. So thus there are innumerable number of contributions from this civilization in the realm of both matter and mind. And that is why actually there were so many, we kind of therefore broke it down into two parts, which are called contributions in the realm of matter and contributions in the realm of mind. Now, actually, since we are speaking about this, we might as well show you that aspect of how we have really tried to bring it to a form where they can be assimilated and appreciated, just to give a semblance of some order in which we can understand them. Otherwise, it's just a huge ocean, a huge globe, the huge earth itself. So Hindu contributions, realm of matter and realm of mind. Then in matter, we actually see which are the big five that have really made a major impact both to the flourish of this civilization as well as changed many things the world over, right from lifestyle preferences to economy, politics, and and demography as well. So, we go into the details of these various big five, as they call it. We will see why the name big five and so on. And then we look at the game changer. What enabled this civilization? What were those aspects that helped them reach this level of flourish, the level of maturity? So what has been the game changer for this civilization, which helped it become a game changer for the world? So that is what we're going to be seeing in the coming quarter, which we did this in fall, and we'll be doing this in winter 2022, starting January 15. But irrespective of not seeing this at the moment, because we'll be looking at the summary of that in this particular course, in the second part as well, to see how did it impact the world. And the other part of it is the realm of mind. And here we look at it as what were the contributions that changed the perspective of sciences and arts world over, as well as living and lifestyle. We've just segregated in these kind of two manageable halves, if you will.
That's more for easy understanding, so that we can look at, as she said, it's a whole gamut. It's a big bouquet. So we are trying to look at each component of it. This component, starting January 15, you'll be seeing the game changer of Hindu contributions to the world in the realm of matter. Now, having said this, let's look at this. this part, see, normally all of us, at least the 100 people who joined this webinar, would have heard about this Angus Madison report on how the world has grown trade-wise, economy-wise for the last 2 millennia. I'm sure you'd have. If not, you're welcome to read about it in our
But
book.
we will just see it in for a very short, a brief look. We will have it this Angus Madison report today. For those of you who are not familiar with it,
we have discussed this in a couple of our courses, but also again, see, Angus Madison was tasked to do this report because till the 1970s, what they thought was, it was Europe that has always, Europe and America has always been prosperous. For Europe for millennia and America for centuries. But what they didn't realize is, till very recently, it was Asia that was the powerhouse. And so when this idea was propounded, they didn't actually, the economic historians of Europe did not accept it. So they got a person by name Professor Angus Madison.
incidentally, even this idea that India and Asia was the powerhouse was put forth by a Westerner himself. But even then, Europe would not accept it. The world wouldn't accept it. And therefore, they commissioned Professor Madison to do a detailed study to confirm that perspective. And this is what he found.
He called it the millennial report because he wrote it for 2 millennia. And he saw each year from the year 1, that is 0 CE, that's year 1 to the year 1998, when he finally submitted the report. He saw that India was number 1, which had 33% of world trade. Then China came second, and Europe and North America and Australia put together 0.5%. Then, like that, he looks at this. Then in the year 1000, again, India is number 1 at 30%, 29%, and North America is at 0.7%.
Then in 1500, there was just a small switch between India and China, but they're marginally closer. And the other countries are slowly picking up. You can see the numbers growing here. And you can find that UK is putting in an appearance in this list with 1.1% of world GDP share. And US is just 0.3 here.
Then coming to 1600, you see that again is India, China on the top, and then and the UK is 1.8%, and the Americas put together is there.
And you can see that the colonial powers are growing. France is growing at 4.7.
So then similarly, you go for every 100 years, you keep seeing how it improves.
So India has been sustaining its leading position right from 1 CE is what Angus Madison is seeing. Incidentally, he was a xenophile. So somebody who was more attracted to China's policies and who favored those policies and who was following China fundamentally. And I am sure he was surprised to see that India was actually leading in the list here. And it is after this that you see a steady decline in India. And we all know it was because of the colonization of India. And you can see a steady climb of United Kingdom over here.
See, 1870, look at this. So it's British India and then United Kingdom, and US is down there at 2%, slowly picking up now. That's about 150 years ago. US was just giving 2% of world GDP. Okay, then it comes to 1950. 1913. The US has become number 1.
Closer to World War I period. So US has now shot up. All the dynamics, everywhere else has changed the world scenario. 1950 post World War II is when you see US is now the leader here with 27. UK has fallen back and India is way below. But then, of course, it starts picking up. So overall, if you look at the summary, you would see a chart like this where the Indian civilization has been contributing to about 30% of the world GDP. That means that much of produce was being, that much of artifacts or items were being produced here and traded from here.
So if you see this chart, this is the position of India. This yellow-orange chart is the position of India vis-a-vis UK. But you can see how India was there in the first pole position consistently for 1,700 years. Now the point we're going to ask is, okay, this is a chart that's been shown. These figures are known to people. Angus Madison report has been there for about 22 years now, or 24 years to be more precise. So people have known about it. But the key point we're going to ask now, all of us here in this group, is what is it that India made and shared with the world for this 1,700 years to have 1/3 or more of the world GDP? So what are the components of it? See, this report is fine to say, yes, India gave, Angus Madison says India gave 1/3 of world GDP, that's all fine. But what did India give? What are the products? What are the A, B, C, D, E, F, G of the products? That is what we deal with in this course, Hindu contribution to the world in the realm of matter. Because it's nice to say, thump our chest and say, this is what the products, but what were they? The components of it, because there are two things to it. One is the products and two is the enablers for the production. And how were these components traded? How did it happen across 2 millennia consistently? Because no other economy in the world has been able to hold a civilization wealth for even a century or two, as we can see. It's also moving, whereas India has been able to hold it for 1,700 years, because Angus Madison report doesn't go back before that. So we don't have data before that. But at least we know for 1,700 years we were holding that position. So what were the source of this wealth? How did we do it? What is the source of this trade? That is the two things.
So fundamentally, it shows that we did have the wealth. And we can see that it was trade which was the source of this wealth. And for this trade to have happened, there had to be a back-end industry. The backbone had to be an industry which was producing all this for trade. Now, what were they producing? So we know, the two of us, at least, we coined a term called the Big Five. Because world over, if you see today, when they talk about Africa, they talk about the Big Five, which are the Big Five game in Africa, the Safari, the main, they used to be the most sought after for hunt. So these were the Big Five, and Africa is known for these Big Five. Now, in the modern world of global opportunities and so on, in HR, you have the Big Five, which means the mental makeup of any person and how they assess, right from how agreeable you are, what is your emotional stability and openness to experience and blah, blah, how flexibility and so on. So this is what, when you say Big Five, this is what it means in the present world. But what were the Big Five that we produced in this civilization? And to give you a very brief view into this, given the short time that we have here, so fundamentally, we always tend to say, oh, India was exporting spices. But spices alone didn't make 30% of GDP. They were the big things like iron and steel. Metallurgy, India was known for its metallurgy. The word Bharat, we will see how it also connotes the metallurgical skills of the civilization. That is why it is called Bharat. Bha also means the glow of fire, which is a key component for metallurgy. So that is yet another way, yet another meaning for the word Bharat attributed to the civilization, apart from Bha being knowledge, and this civilization being known as a civilization that relished knowledge. So knowledge was one aspect that the civilization stood for. Metallurgy was another one. And along with metals, then we also were very good at zinc, and therefore we were very good in alloy making. Brass and bronze, we kind of spearheaded the Bronze Age. And the kind of evidences that you will find for the use of Indian iron and steel, for how Indian alloys were popular world over, how world did not know how to extract zinc till about the 1600s. We held the monopoly for so many millennia. We were holding the trade secret for making zinc.
So from there, we take on to cotton. So the fundamental cotton fabric that we are all used to wearing is it's an Indian origin. Then we go to the coloring of red, blue, yellow, as we've seen with the other one in the film short time back. All this again, these are products that were game changers for the world. Then sugar and spice. The world demographics has come from sugar, because sugar is a sweet product, but it's got a very bitter story. The sweet product sugar story is very bitter actually. So that is what all that we dealt with. Now going forward, you see that so like that, these are the big five that came from this land. So spice is just one of them. People just say spice and they close the story with it. No, unfortunately, it's not so. So, but the big five is what we need to look at. And that leads on to the game changers.
So this is what are the various products that we see as one part of this course. And so how did this civilization produce all this? So obviously there was the hand of nature. So this has been called a Punya Bhumi. So one side of it is to look at the spiritual aspect of all the Punya and Papa and how it decides the rebirths and so on. But the other ground fact is this land is indeed a Punya Bhumi because of where it is located, and therefore what kind of climate and the seasons, the ordering of the seasons. So all of this is something that one has to understand before one can understand how this civilization had understood it and therefore leveraged it.
For example, if India was not in this latitude and longitude where it is now, it would not have been this Punya Bhumi. So geographically, the placing of India is also very important. That gives sense. So nature, when she says, not just to speak about nature in a very generic way, but in a more specific way, similar ethos.
So, and then, so once you have nature giving you this bounty, it also becomes your responsibility to ensure that you utilize this and not exploit it. So how did you put it to use in a sustainable manner? So what was that ethos? In fact, just in agriculture, you will see we had some very, very fundamental rules of how the crop was to be shared by the tiller, first between the ground, Mother Earth, what is to be left for Mother Earth, what is to be taken by the farmer, and what is to be left for the small creatures as well. Similarly, after whatever you take, how do you divide it in the society amongst humans between the owner of the land, the tiller, the water provider? They were very, very well established rules. So the value system was there. There was a very principled way in which one worked. And this principle itself, you see it beautifully in these two words, which we'll shortly come to. And this value system, the mechanics of organization of the society, they were all wired beautifully together. Just to show you this, we will just take these two words that exist in our Indian vocabulary. We all know the word Varnijam, right, for trade. And how do they come to be called Varnijam? And trade guilds are called Shreni. Okay, that is the word. Shreni means a trade guild. Now, this word Shreni has a very, very nice meaning. We'll just show you something that is just too good. I mean, we just can't get over it.
Look at this word Shreni for trade guild. You get this right from the Harappa Mohenjo-daro times. Look at this word in the Harappa Mohenjo-daro times. You had the word Shreni. It's there in the Harappa Mohenjo-daro seals. Is there? And look at the word, how it is. The same word Shreni is there all over the land. Right from Assam to Seth to Shreshta, Shreshti. That means noble, isn't it? Shresht means the best, the noble. Shreshti in Odisha, Seta in Bengal, to Chettiar in Tamil Nadu, to Shetty in Karnataka, Shet in Gujarat, Chetty in Maharashtra, Shroff, Seth. In Afghanistan, it is Sethan. And in Sri Lanka, it's Selitar, Seti. Look at all over India, same term, Seti. But how does this term, what does the word Shreni here mean?
So all of them, these words are all coming from this root Shreya. And Shreya, and from there you have Shreyas. Shreyas means noble, nobility. So that's why you say it's fame, nobility, and good, of value. And that comes from Shreya. Shreya means dependable. One who speaks the truth, one who is honest, one who is dependable, one who is trustworthy. All these are the meanings for the word Shreya. So look at this one single picture and the meaning of these words, which speak volumes about this civilization. It says that the traders of this civilization were trustworthy people. They went by trust. Their guilds operated on trust. They were noble traders, that therefore they were Shreyas. Their profession was noble because that was keeping this civilization in flourish. So the prosperity of the civilization was coming from these trustworthy traders who were trusted by their customers as well. And where do you see that aspect of trust and their acceptability to customers coming from? From the word Varnijam, for trade. Vani. Vani means that which is sweet, sweet speaking, sweet words, sweet sounds. So Vani, and that comes from Vak. Therefore, you have Saraswati as Vak, as Vani. And it is but natural for traders to be able to be well abled in Vak. So Vak means language, speech. So a trader has to be very good in his speech language skills to be able to speak multiple tongues and also be able to speak in a very convincing manner, to be able to negotiate, to speak sweet words, not ruffle people while trading. All of these two just seem to be going hand in hand.
Now, we'll just go back to the slide where we spoke about Sreni. It's very important. She said one very important word, so profound, that is, in the Indian civilization thought, in the Hindu thought, a trader was thought to be noble and his word was dependable. Just pause for a moment here. For 4,000, 5,000 years, a trader's word was dependable, it was honest. Whereas today you talk to a salesman, anywhere in the world, especially in US or Europe or India now, is a salesman's word dependable, or is it with lot of paraphernalia around it to sell his product? Look at how the whole thing has changed. Here, this civilization is saying a salesperson's word is dependable, so he doesn't oversell. Look at the contract. It's a sea of change now, but what the Indian civilization offered by way of the very word and the thought to what it is now in reality. Look at that. That's a huge change we have. So these are the game changers that we need to be looking at as we go along. That is amazing, isn't it? This point that a trader and the whole guild was dependable and their word was trustworthy and they were noble. So look at the idea in the civilization we have of dependability for trader, which is unthinkable in modern parlance. And look at the word Vanijam, as she explained. Sweet words, Vani, Veena, Vani, sweet words, soothing words, explaining it beautifully. So the trader's word is musical. His way of expression is musical. Look at that. So these are the points. These are game changers for the world.
And so it's not just words alone. The products spoke for themselves. The traders could convey that. And they had the skills, the navigational skills to take them wherever, as far as they could, to be able to go and sell these products. And the proof for this actually comes here. I mean, it's a beautiful story that's getting pieced together. See, when Vasco da Gama, he's the first person actually who, we all very sadly, we are taught that Vasco da Gama found the sea route to India. Nobody completes it as Vasco da Gama found the sea route to India for the Europeans. Indians always knew these sea routes. They were ruling the seas, which is what we will see during this course. But Vasco da Gama, he finds the way to come to India directly. See, Arabs were the face for India's products for many millennia. They were taking a lot of our products while we were also going far and wide. But at one point in time, when Europe stopped getting these through the Arabs, they had to come to these places. They had to come to India by themselves and come directly and procure these products. So that is when Vasco da Gama sets sail and he comes to India. And on his way, he is only able to come up to Cape of Good Hope, which is why it's called the Cape of Good Hope, because after that, he didn't know how to move and come across the Indian Ocean to come to India. And that is when he is helped by Indian traders in their ships and he is led to India. And he says he sees ships that were 10 times larger than his ship, which was the largest in Europe then. So Santa Maria, Christopher Columbus had taken Santa Maria and he had gone westwards and had landed in the Caribbean islands. And this was the size of his ship.
It was 20 plus meters.
Then Vasco da Gama's was Sao Gabriel.
It was little less than 30 meters.
And in Indian Nav Shastra texts, you find mention of various types of Indian ships and their sizes. So you find a Gamini, which is close to 50, then a Tari, close to about 60, a Jangala, a Plavini, a Dharini, a Begini.
Look at this. So the ship sizes in India were almost 10 times the width and the length of the largest European ships of those times. So these were taking those big 5 trades to different parts of the world.
And look at the names as well. Gamini, the one who moves. And so she was perhaps one that could travel fast. Gamini, and then Tari, Tarna, to cross over. So this was perhaps the kind of breed of ships that could, kind of cross over, more known for its ability to navigate. Then Jangala, then Plavini. Plavini again shows the aspect of navigating, of going through, journeying. And Dharini, the one that could carry loads. Begini, bear loads. Dharini, Dharna. And Begini, one who is very fast. So this were the kind of ships. So now the point here is, it is not just that the ships were big, but the ships were, the civilization, the people were skilled enough to build these ships, to navigate these ships. And if you had to navigate, you had to know the sciences of astronomy, mathematics, geography. So many different sciences go together to be able to navigate.
You must have the geometry to make the ships, not just wood, because all these are ocean-going ships. You have to have the geometry to make it.
Carpentry skills, they were all made of wood, teak wood.
And the ships must withstand the oceans and withstand for years. And all these ships, you see, which for 100 years plus. We'll see all that in the course. Now, getting on to one point, there's somebody who said here, Grace has said, Kokilavani, Sukhavani. Yes, Vani, very well said, Grace. Thank you so much. Very true words. And I think there are 3 people who raised the hands. Ankuchi, would you
I
want?
think we will just finish a couple of slides more and then we'll just be open for all questions. We enjoy questions. So these are the things. So they were contributors for the industry. They were contributors for trade. So these were game changers for India as such. And how did they go on? How did each of this product affect world dynamics? So that is the game changer for the world. So this is what we'll be seeing in this part B of the story. We'll be seeing a few more of the items that are things like luxury items which change and the lifestyle items. And we'll be seeing one very, very interesting aspect, which is about rocketry and fireworks, which is very less spoken about. And then, of course, we'll be going into the navigation, the shipping. So we could go across seas, we could build such ships, we could work those ships, and we had all the shipping aids and the sciences to be able to build tools for navigating. So what were the natural factors that helped us? What were the human factors? So natural factors, yes, she can endure, but then what were the frameworks that this civilization developed to leverage this nature given bounty in a very sustained manner? And one of this was about, we'll see about irrigation, because nothing can be produced without having enough water. So how did we ensure, because we get only 3 months of rain, monsoon. So how did we get, store and use the water? And how did we overall contribute in the colonization story and therefore the industrial revolution of the world itself? If it were not for colonization, industrial revolution wouldn't have happened. So how do these two go hand in hand? And how did industrial revolution of the world mean the industrial devolution of India and the turning points in world history because of these contributions? And how we have been sustainably contributing to the world through all these millennia and in the recent past, and therefore what can we hope to contribute in the coming future, given where the world is today? That is yet another thing. I mean, there's no point just living in the past. So given where we are today and all the lessons that we can glean out of all this, where can we go forward and therefore be a valuable part of the world as it stands today? And to do that, we need first confidence and dare. We need confidence in India, its ethos, its ways. We need to dare to be an Indian Hindu civilization, to follow the ethos of the civilization and to adopt these ways. Because all said and done, we are a proven success model. We have been for about more than a few millennia. And because Angus Madison only started from 1 BCE, in fact, we show 1 CE. In fact, during the course, as we look at various things, we will see evidences that point in, way back into BCE itself, even before Herodotus started writing Historia, the history for the Greek. So this is what is needed today. This is not meant only for Hindus and Indians. The idea of this is that we can take lessons from this for the world. Because today we all have this, we want to complain that we are not on a sustainable path. So given that, how can we leverage all of this to turn things around and put the world on a sustainable track once again, so that the whole world can stay as one global family, but not necessarily as one single global culture. Culturally, we have to have our diversity. We have to follow. That is yet another thing that we will learn through this course. What is Kalachar? What is Desachar? So how was this Vichar sustained?
The idea itself gives you the Kalachar, the culture. So those are the components. We look at all this game changer. And about all this available in our website, Bharat Gyan. You can have a look at it, those who want. I'll just show you that where it is. So it's just there. So those who want to go to the website and see these, so you can read them and then come to the course, so you're well prepared to ask us a lot more questions, which we'll be happy to take and answer as we go through the course. Welcome to visit the Bharat Gyan website and get to know more on this. Now, with the permission of the moderator, Ankur Patel, we'd like to take some questions because we saw a few hands raised and also a lot of Q&A questions are also there, which we'll be glad to take all of them.
Yeah, absolutely. I know you love to take questions, so put your questions in the Q&A box. We'll get to them. Let me just drop in the chat course details. You can click that link and see it. It's going to start January 15th. It's going to, actually, we have 2 batches, right? And so that's something that you might want to say. We're calling it the Australia batch, but if that time works better for you than the other one, I think it's fine. So thank you for offering this course twice this quarter so that everyone who wants to participate can. And we're offering that discount again, $200 for the first person and $100 thereafter. We want families to be taking this course and this series of courses so that we build that intergenerational knowledge and ability to communicate about these important issues.
Wants to see the.
Can I add one thing, Ankur, on this? You said you want families to take the course. I'd like to add one more point here. Families, in sense, we're not talking about just children and parents. We'd like to offer this to grandparents as well, because today the grandchildren and grandparents may be living in two different continents. And there's hardly any connect between the grandchildren and grandparents except by saying good morning and good night. Here, by doing this course, they get to connect with each other over a civilization discussion, and they can chat offline later, and there's a point of contact. And here is the grandparents will feel happy to have shared good knowledge with their grandchildren, even though they may be living in a different continent. So it is actually bringing the families together across the seas, across time zones,
Very sure.
across generations.
Very sure that after some of these sessions, the child is bound to go and ask its grandparents something about their own family lineage and history and tradition. And I mean, the grandparent is the point of clarification for all of this. So
it
that will enhance that, enrich that bond.
It's going to be a bonding between the grandparent and the grandchildren. So that also is something that we need to look at and take this forward.
Ankur, I would just like to share that last screen. Somebody wanted to see that last.
So I just dropped the link to your website in the chat also, right?
Oh, you did.
Twitter and everything is accessible there. So please do visit their website at bharatnyan.com, and I'll drop it in the chat. And there's so much information. Wow, like I've scrolled through there and all these different places where you can connect with the Hurries on different platforms. Please do. We have a few questions and we have a few hands raised. Bjorn had their hand raised from the start. Don't know if you have a question. Anupriya has a hand raised. If you want to type it in the Q&A box, that's cool. If you want to ask to be unmuted, I guess we can do that. DC is asking loads of accolades to HUA for bringing out and educating Hindus and others about the precious and unique heritage of ours that we need to remember and nurture for our future generations. I guess that's not a question. Thank you for that. That is Dev Chaudhary and Virginia.
Thank you, Ram Gupta ji, for the point. Thank you for raising the point, Ram Gupta ji.
Yeah, now Ram Gupta ji, a stalwart HUA supporter, thank you for your large and generous contribution. Ramji is saying with 4 connections for $500. Yeah, so the pricing, it's great. And then I think before that, what did you say, Ramji? Families can connect with their own laptops or phones. I don't know if we have any other students who want to give a testimonial. If that's okay with you, you can just message me and we can unmute people if you want to say something. If you've taken a course, if you've taken 3 of the courses and you're going to take this 4th one, you might be a good person to get into work. Just send me a message. Who else has a question? How come India is not even 3rd largest economy in the world today? Where you're going to get into that course for, I mean, that's the crux of the course. It's where were we? How do we get here? And how do we, again, use our heritage and all that stuff that you were talking about to move forward? If you want to take that on, Hindu contributions in the realm of spirituality is much more than material wealth. So that's why we started this out as 2 courses in the realm of mind and in the realm of matter. But even that was too much. So now there are 4 courses, 2 for matter and 2 for mind. And so this is the 2nd course on matter, the game changer. So that's Ishwarya. Thank you for asking that. I hope that was clear. Where can I read material for these facts? So check out the link to the course that I dropped and Dr. Hurry's website. They have so much, as they cite, that's what it takes to be an academic. You got to cite the sources. Yeah, it sounds like you have something you want to say there.
Just Ankur, one moment. So regarding the material for these courses, actually, what we do is from all our published works, we extract the relevant material and make it as the reading material for the courses. And that gets hosted through your course page on the HUA portal, learning management system. Some of the films that we showed you, we bring them on into the course page itself so that you don't have to hunt around, and what is relevant for those sessions. Session wise, they're put there. And one of the most beautiful aspects of the LMS of HUA is that once you have a user ID, you have it like for all times to come. So anytime you can always go back to some course that you've taken many years ago as well and read the content. And we insist that, I mean, we have a place for diary notes where you can put in your notes on each session so that you have a place to go back to and look at to summarize your takeaways. So all of this is available to you even after your course for time to come. So the reading material will be there, films, as well as all these jottings of yours.
Great. Look at that. We called out and we have a whole panel
Thank you
of
all.
previous students. I don't know who wants to go first. Maybe Hariji, if you want to, or if you want to introduce yourselves and say a few things. Some of what you typed in the chat was beautiful, but I'll let this group of students take the charge. Or Seshaji, if you want to start, yeah, you're unmuted.
Namaste. I am so happy to be here. I just can't express my happiness. And what I can say is I've been taking these courses at HUA for last 5 quarters. And for the last 3 quarters, I've been taking Dr. Hemaji's and Hariji's classes. And they're just mind-boggling. You would not regret taking them, and you want to be with them. You know, no matter how many times I will take these courses, I still feel it's new to them, new to me, because each time a new idea or a thought kind of gets slowly assimilated. So there's tons of information that we have to learn. First, we have to undo what we learned all these years, and then relearn all this new material that so naturally syncs with us because we have been, you know, those who are brought up in Bharat. So I just can't say enough, and I can go on forever. These are wonderful courses, and HUA is a wonderful platform providing these courses. And I just can't say anything anymore. I mean, please do take. You will really be happy that you did. This is the best thing that can happen in your life. Dhanyawada for this opportunity.
Thank you, Seshaji, for your very kind words.
Thank you.
Oh, I just loved it.
So
You know,
Vikramji or
Seshaji
Ramji?
used to be a person who used to ask some of the maximum number of questions in our class.
And that's
Enjoy
what
the
this is about. It's
And
about
that's what we
engagement,
like.
and you're great at answering questions and asking questions. Vikramji, Ramji, who wants to go next?
Namaste, everyone.
Namaste.
I have taken many courses through HUA, and I have loved every single one of them. But Dr. Hema and Dr. Hariji's course, I will recommend for all those beginners who wants to start to know about Hinduism. This is the best course I've ever taken about Hinduism. And they are fantastic professors, teachers, guru, whatever you want to call them. They're amazing people. And my kids, they're 12 and 14-year-old, and they also love the course. So, and all the problems we are facing that our kids don't know anything about the Hinduism, they talk against Hinduism, and then when they go to colleges, they're confused. So if our kids take the classes, they won't be confused. Nobody can confuse them then because they will know their history. So I will recommend this course to every Hindu who wants to stay as a Hindu and want to make sure their children stay as a Hindu in this world and live respectfully. So thank you so much, Dr. Hema and Hariji, for all your amazing knowledge and teaching skills. You have fabulous teaching skills. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. And there is always a Sachin kid in the in whichever quarter. There are at least 2-3 of them, and that's
Yes.
really nice of you to
Very
ensure.
heartening.
Very, very nice. Thank you.
Thank you.
Ramji.
Yes, what Shesha and Vikram said, I mean, I can't add any more to that. This was an amazing course. I mean, I've taken 2 or 3 courses, and I like them so much that, you know, I promote them. Or, you know, like somebody said about third largest economy, it does not take many years to change the, you know, what is the word? to change. Look at China. They were behind, their GDP was less than India in 79, I remember, which is like 42 years ago. So how things can change? We understand the politics in India is worse, is not the same as China. It may take more time, but things can change, already changing. But we have to appreciate what knowledge we had, what we are capable of, which we do not know. I mean, before taking this course, I didn't know anything, but we were, whatever civilization was. So it is very important that we learn that. And somebody said we want to live in present, we don't want ancient knowledge. But the fact is, we are living in present and we're proud of what we could achieve. This course is the best course I have ever, I mean, you can possibly take to open your eyes to the whole civilizational, in not only in mind, like in philosophy, that we know, a lot of people know that, but I didn't know anything about in mind, in field of matter, that we were so great. So that's all I will leave with. But thank you. And this thing also I only like to say that Dr. Hema and Dr. Hari, they have so much knowledge they have acquired. And I don't know, I mean, they went to places. If you take this course, you will see how many places they went there, like to a British library to find the 100, 200 years old thing, or to meet somebody whose great-grandfather met this guy. So they have done a lot of work. And I will really, I will like people to take that. They will get the perspective of so many gamuts of ideas and things which they have acquired. And I am not a person who can say a lot of good, I'll explain things, but that's why you have to attend Dr. Hema and Hari's course. Thank you.
Great.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for your kind words. And also thank you for your support all along, which is really helping a lot of youngsters take this and come through. And they in turn share it with so many people. So it is.
I love that. I love that.
Yeah.
It's
I gotta say,
Ramji.
Ramji's been a strong supporter. We have scholarships for students for general and for this course in particular. I'll drop a link in the chat. So if you're interested in taking this course, please fill out this quick poll. Just let us know. Yes, no, maybe you have questions. It might have to do with the timing or other stuff. Let us know if you're interested in enrolling. We still have 93 people with us today. Thank you for joining. If there are any other students who want to give a testimony, let us know. We have a few more questions about, are there handouts with the course? And we were talking about it earlier. There's a learning management system. Week by week, course materials are uploaded and you can print them on your own. There's PDFs and there's links and there's videos, and Dr. Hari do a great job of going through, as Ramji said, they're years and decades of experience. What is good? What is useful? When is it appropriate to introduce it to a student at different levels? And so the structured exploration of the Hindu civilization, of Hindu contributions of the Indian civilization, you heard it from different people today. It's an amazing course. Please let us know if you're interested in enrolling. And if you have more questions, we could take those. I don't see too many more. We've been talking about how to apply it in different ways, Rajesh Ji, if you want to take that later, or if any of our other students, Sesha Ji, yeah, if you want to say something more.
Can I add a couple of things?
Please.
Just I wanted to add that we talk about Bharat, just like Ramji said, about spirituality in Bharat. And what these Westerners, especially the youngsters, they always say, where is the evidence? Where is the evidence? They are all brought up in such a way that they want evidence for everything. So everything is superstitious otherwise. So these courses at HUA, not only these, but all the courses, I feel that, especially these I'm talking about, is that they will find the union of spirituality with science. So they will have tons of evidences that they won't, they can ask as many questions and they will have the evidences for that, which will help them to understand and feel confident that, yes, this is not superstition, but it is scientific. And then that will help them to do a U-turn, to come back that, okay, when what we do as rituals is just nothing superstitious, but there is science behind it. And that is very helpful. I just want to add a couple of those things.
Okay. And to quickly add that, there's another course by Dr. Raj Vedam. He talks about all these things. So I will encourage everyone hearing here to take his course at HUA, which he talks about all the evidence-based things. So that's all he talks about. He's a person of science. So these are all evidence-based. They are all truth, which we have to understand. We will be, presenting. Yeah.
And if I could just say, we have different levels of educators, of professors, of classes targeted at different folks. So Dr. Vedam is one kind of faculty, and Dr. Hari are a different kind of faculty. So it's up to you to decide. But Hindu University of America is here to create a platform for us as Hindus to elevate folks like Dr. Hari to share their knowledge and what they've been doing with us. So thank you for that. Vikramji?
With knowledge and wisdom of Hema and Hariji, with this course, you get knowledge and wisdom of 2 professors, not one. So for the price, you get knowledge and wisdom of 2 professors. That's all I wanted to say.
You are very wise, Vikramji.
Buy one, get one free.
Yes, buy one, get one free.
A point I would like to say, I think somebody had asked, would there be any handout with the course? It's not just handout, it is hanging out, in the sense it will be there on the web for you. It will be there on the LMS for you to access anytime. So it is like as good as your handout because it's so voluminous. And the other point is each of these extracts are taken from some of our published works predominantly. So, and we indicate from where they have been taken and where they are available in case you want to get the particular book or publication as a whole as well. So both kinds of information will be at your fingertips.
And there are 2 questions. This one from Raj Polavaram ji. Yes. See, the point is, once we know what this knowledge is, then it's certainly applicable to the present time, because we have, present times also have a lot of problems, but we need to know the solutions for that. And our past gives a solution for the future, which is what George Orwell so nicely said in his book. One who controls the present controls the past. One who controls the past controls the future. This is an Orwellian statement made 50 years ago or 60 years ago. Look at this. So we have to, so what was there in 1800? The knowledge we use in sustainability is valid for 2022 and 2030 and 2040, because the world is going to be a scientific world. The world is going to be a sustainable world. So we can talk all sustainability, but unless we know how to be sustainable, again, because this civilization is specialized in the sustainable living for millennia. See, civilizations go through short times, 300 years, 500 years, 200 years. But this Indian civilization has been successful and sustainable for millennia. No other civilization had that skill. So we must have done something good, as there's a famous song that she will say.
Yeah, this is in The Sound of Music. There is a song, we must have done something good, because nothing comes from nothing and nothing ever could. So it's a very nice, beautiful song. Hari wants me to sing that.
Yeah, it will impact them, please.
Nothing comes from nothing, nothing ever could. So somewhere in this youth or childhood, we must have done something good. So whether in this recent past or millennia ago, we have really done something good. So let us wake up to that good. Let us put that knowledge to use. We can't, again, I mean, we're not going to talk about making steel and selling steel again, but there's something else that the world needs, and how do we make them in a sustainable manner, given today, where we stand today. That is the lesson. That is the wisdom that we need to be able to extract and take.
And any more questions, if in chat, please let us know. We'll be happy to answer. Any more questions?
Well, Sureka ji is asking about tests and reading. Yes, there could be a lot of
Right.
reading. It's as much as you want to do, but tests and assignments, I don't know if you touched on that.
Yes.
Yeah, actually what we do is we have a few quizzes and I think they are quite enjoyable. You can ask Vikram Sachinji and they're just multiple choice questions.
Easy to do, easy to answer. And see, don't be worried about test. So it's going to be quite easy. It's not. See, if I can answer those questions, anybody else can. They'll be as simple as that.
And not
The
only
idea-
that, if you don't have time,
He
like
doesn't
I
know
do.
the answers because I said the question. So if he answers, then anybody can.
And you can audit the course. The way I do it, I audit the course. So if I don't have time, I don't have to do anything. And you don't mind. I mean,
Thank you, Ramji. You're a special case. You get to audit the course. We're not encouraging that with everyone.
sorry.
Vikramji.
Yes, I mean, the tests are very easy. If my 12-year-old can score 100%, then I'm pretty sure you all can. There's multiple choice and very short, maybe 10 question, 12 question, and it's very easy. So my 12-year-old can score 100%, so I don't think anybody else can score less.
Excellent.
See, and these quizzes are actually there only to test your own absorption. It's not for us to test you. It is for you to test yourself, and because there are multiple attempts. So you answer the quiz and you find there is a wrong answer. It gives you the right answer as well. So you can attempt it again till you feel, yes, that particular answer has gotten into my mindset. So it's not for us to rate you and give you pass or fail, because even just mere attendance is enough to give you a 50% pass for the course. And so these are all fundamentally courses that you take to enjoy the knowledge. So as a Bharatiya, as a Bharat, you can savor this knowledge.
And I think there's a hand up for Anupriya.
Yeah, so the two hands. Oh, there you go. You're unmuted. Go ahead. Sorry.
A sweet night for everybody here. I'm Anupriya from Tamil Nadu. I could ask a question. What made us change that we are still down today? Why we are considered as still developing, and we have some wealth which is other countries make us so feel proud. Why can't we still stay back, and why can't we go forward? That's my question. Where the point is changed, and why does India stay back now?
See, we had a great opportunity in 1947 when we got independence to shift the way, because we were, let's be clear, we were looted and plundered for close to millennia and really looted very badly for the last 300 years by the colonial powers. That's a fact. It's a historical fact. We had a great opportunity in 1947 to change all that. There are many paths available to do it. But what happened was we unfortunately took the path of socialism, which is alien to India. It's an alien philosophy to India, and we were compelled to use it by some leaders, and that was imposed on India for about 70 years. So we struggled. We were using a different engine, but we were using a different car with different tires. So we had square tires instead of round tires. We had a lot of problems. It's only now the people themselves are realizing that we unfortunately had a jalopy of a vehicle, and the system itself was again not suited for the land. Now we are rethinking about this and going and changing. So this change is happening not just at the leadership level, but at the ground level of people. So the thought process is changing, and it is certainly happening. But what you should keep in mind is, suppose you take, since you're from Tamil Nadu, India, that you mentioned, I'll just take an example for you.
Just one moment. I'll just share the screen. 1 second.
I think my wife will try to pull out that slide. It is in one of our subject capsules. We shall show it to you. Just a moment, please. It's like this. So you should have the confidence to take it up. Show it to you. 1 second. See, when you look at India through the lenses, say through binoculars, for many millennia, what you'll see is it's just like a game. Okay, you have played, it's like a match review, be it cricket or football or hockey, whichever game you look at. We have won about all the games, but for the last 4 or 5 games. Continuously. So we did not win the last 4 or 5 games. But again, we started winning games again. So that doesn't mean you're a bad team. A defeat of 4 or 46 games doesn't mean we are a losing team. You should recognize that out of 50, we have won 46. That's a confidence we should have to look forward. And we are started winning again because as we showed the Angus Madison chart, we have now started coming back. This civilization. That's a long-term perspective we take. These are called perspectives. We had tough time, and we also, after we regained our independence, look at the word. What is the word independence called in the Indian thought? It's called Swarajya. Rajya means rule. Swarajya. Swa means self. It was Swarajya. That is for Independence Day. What do you call that? What is the other term you have? Swatantra. The word tantra means what? Technique. Swa is self again. Self techniques. So we were Swarajya but not Swatantra. We got political independence but did not get technical independence.
Mindset independence.
We were colonized in mind. So we have Swarajya but not Swatantra. It's only now in the last less than 10 years, we're learning to be Swatantra. Use our independent techniques that are ours.
Indigenous.
So we should learn to be Swatantra. And when you're Swatantra, what do you get next is that?
Swavrit. That means you become self-sufficient and self-reliant. So that is what we have to now aim for. And you will achieve that only if you start becoming indigenous and work the way that is suited to where you are, what you have, the skills you have, the natural resources, your strengths. And those are the strengths we will be seeing during this course. What are those strengths that we should leverage? Okay. And that is for our civilization. So some other civilization from this, they have to learn that they have to discover their own strengths and put those strengths to use. Nobody can just ape and imitate everybody else. So each civilization is there in a particular place with its own strengths, and each has to realize that and therefore put it to good use.
Good. Any more questions?
No, I don't think anything else is outstanding. Anupriya got a chance to ask her question directly. Bjorn has joined us as a panelist, but I don't know if Bjorn wants to unmute and show camera and ask the question. I've got S. Apti. So maybe they asked and forgot or whatever, but I don't have any open questions except for the poll question. Please, 42 out of 65 people have filled it out. We got a lot of interest. It's exciting when we got 40, 50, 60 people in the class and you get to hear the different perspectives from all around the world. So please do consider, I think Geeta Ji enrolled right now. I'd love to see that, people enrolling during the webinar. That's always a sign of a good sign. But maybe it is time for you to give your closing thoughts and make the final pitch. And thank you everyone for joining us and staying with us and starting the year with us on this Sunday, January 2nd, looking into Hindu contributions to the world in the realm of matter. And there were so many. We have 2 courses on it, starting one January 15th. Please do participate, enroll. Let me hand it back to our guests for a closing thought.
Thank you so much. See, the game changer is all about how does it change the game, because all of us are in the game. Economics is a game, politics is a game, life is a game, and every aspect of this game we have to change and win, as we see, because nothing is constant. Everything is moving, transitory. The earth is not stationary, the sun is not stationary, the galaxies are not stationary, our life isn't stationary either. Every day is different. So every aspect is a game. If you take it as a game, everything is easy and fun. If you take it as a drudgery, it's all that more difficult. So that's why we came up with the idea of game changer, because you have to understand this. Let's not say it's something happened in 1800, 1700. How does it affect us? Every game affects us every day of our life. And going forward too, take life as a game, enjoy it, and let's all go forward using the experiences of the past. Let's not repeat mistakes, because we have a nice saying, history repeats itself if you don't learn from history. So we can make mistakes, nothing wrong, which everybody's want to, but learn from them and go forward. So this game changer course offers that learnings so that we don't repeat the errors again and we are successful. That's the whole perspective of this course. Welcome and look forward to meeting you all starting January 15. As said, there are two batches, one for the East Australia batch, one for the America batch. It's only for timing. So we are doing the same course on the same day twice to suit people across the world based on whichever batch they want, whichever timings they want.
Okay, well, thank you. Dhanyavad.
Thank you.
Dhanyavada. Dhanyavada.